Last time on Shadow Peace, the war between the Revolutionary Army and the Marine forces continued in full force. However, not every battle is following the same formula. While at first it seemed like Karasu and Kizaru would have a standard fight to the death, it quickly turned out to be even more complicated. On the hunch that Kizaru was actually the friend that Vegapunk spoke of, the Crow commander handed over a Denden Mushi with a recorded voice message. And with that message, both of their futures were determined. As the Dark and Light duo, they have to search Vegapunk's child and ensure its safety in the future. Instead of retiring, Borsalino now has a new full-time job. Paired together with an unexpected partner, they will write their own story in the future. For now though, the war is over for them. One with no strong emotions, and the other with never-ending complicated emotions of leaving behind their allies. How their story will continue, we'll have to wait. As for us, this war is not over yet. And today we will take a look at another complex confrontation between an admiral and a commander. Who would have guessed? On the western side of the Kamabaka Queendom, Morley stands in front of Fujitora. Press fruit versus push fruit. When this war started, the Blind Admiral was deemed the most likely to leave the Marines, but the things he saw on the island have strengthened his resolve to stay with them instead. In no way are the revolutionaries pure evil, and they might even be fighting for a good cause, but wouldn't it have been better to just change the Marines slowly from within? They could have just joined and worked up the ranks. It may be hard, but climbing the ranks and spreading your own way of justice to other members of the Marine, it would be possible. Yes, you might need to be careful around the celestial dragons, but countless deaths could have been avoided if people just lived casual, quiet lives. Now the Purple Tiger stands in front of one of the leaders of the group that are the reason for this whole situation. Isho, better known as Admiral Fujitora, I thought you were one of the more reasonable Marines, but I guess I judged you wrongly, seeing as you are still on the side of evil. Morley doesn't hesitate to state her opinion, and she actually gets a reaction. A calm response, but a reaction nonetheless. Evil? You are not completely wrong. But can you say that sacrificing tens of thousands of lives is the good thing to do? I despise the way some things work in the Marines right now. But over my time as an admiral, I will work hard to change it, without needing to sacrifice anyone. Do you understand, my boy? A short moment of silence falls between them, before Morley answers. I'm a woman. Huh? But your voice... I have a complex about that. How could you bring it up? Waving his arms around nervously, Fujitora tries to fix his mistake. They might be enemies, however he still wants to show his respect. I apologize, my lady, but I won't hold back just because you are a woman. The time for conversation is now over, and the clock has hit battle hour. Both sides activate their Devil Fruit powers, Fujitora pressing down on Morley with gravity, and the revolutionary commander answering by pushing gravity away from her. Pushing her body with her own powers lets her accelerate to high speed in record times. In one fluid motion, her trident gets swung straight at Fujitora. Many opponents got overwhelmed by Morley's speed alone, but not the Purple Tiger. His observation haki lets him see everything around him. In a way, his vision has become better than when he could still see with his own two eyes. Using his supreme grade blade, Yakuza Kasen, he parries the attacks and goes for an instant counter. Compressed gravity destroys anything in its path, and his raging tiger technique flies directly towards Morley's body. Dodging a short range with the body of a giant may appear difficult, but Morley is a bit different from the ordinary giant. Most of the time, she just uses her power to push around her surroundings, as pushing her own body hurts tremendously. But with the hormones distributed by Ivankov, pain has become a non-existent thing for the revolutionary commanders in this war. A swift push to the side allows her to evade the gravity attack, but the building behind her gets cleanly cut. This horizontal slash was in fact so clean that the buildings don't even collapse. They just have a cut going through them right now. Even when you put and haki into the calculation, Morley knows that she would have been cleanly cut into two pieces. This is the power of one of the three admirals, the forces that keep the four emperors from acting out too much. Molly stretches out her own hand and pushes the wind towards Fujitora. Normally the Kamabaka Queendom is an island that doesn't have a lot of wind, but that changed in an instant. From close to 0 meters per second, the wind accelerates to over 1000 meters per second, a wind speed impossible for the planet to achieve by itself, even in the crazy Grand Line. While it doesn't injure Fujitora, he does get blasted into the sky, forcing him to use his powers to fly. As he was still trying to get the wind under control, Molly and her trident fly up towards him like a missile. The similarities in their devil fruit powers are obvious, so all the giant needed to do was push the air beneath her feet to rise into the sky as well. A three-dimensional battle where the laws of gravity don't apply in the slightest is about to begin. Stabbing downwards with his sword is Fujitora's answer to the situation. And even before Molly's trident can reach him, a clash ensues. Gravitational forces pushing upwards but also downwards. The surrounding area starts to twist and deform with every confrontation. Straight buildings get curves, the road grows bumpy, and everything around them gets distorted in some weird way, creating a bizarre landscape no one has ever seen before. The impact of two strong gravitational forces can lead to many things, and what this island is experiencing right now is just the beginning. Contact after contact, sword slash after trident thrust. The space around the two leading figures of the respective organizations gets distorted more and more. It is an unequal battle, with one side being clearly superior to the other. And yet the first to bleed is the Admiral Fujitora. In an unexpected turn of events, while both forces of gravity were pushing and pressing against each other, Molly's trident got distorted, lengthened in fact, and it stabbed through the Marine Admiral's legs. The blood dropping down never reached the ground, as it continued to swirl in circles between the two opposing gravitational forces, until it disappeared completely in a matter of seconds. Besides spatial distortion, this is another thing that can happen with two powerful gravitational forces: time dilation. But the concepts of the world are being pushed around in this battle even further. Attacks getting slowed down, angles getting changed unpredictably, or attacks speeding up to insane levels. Even for these two high-class warriors, it is difficult to predict anything. Molly is the first to get a grasp on how to use this to her own benefits. More and more of her attacks start to graze Fujitora. His exceptional observation haki may allow him to predict almost anything and see all the intentions of his opponent, but when the rules of the world don't apply anymore, even his abilities are starting to get overwhelmed. Even small scratches, when accumulated enough, can bring down a tiger. It may be weird that this is happening to him right now, but he is enjoying this fight. His opponent, Molly, has a pure heart, so in a way they wouldn't even need to fight. But when two concepts, two ideals clash, it doesn't matter if one side is pure. Fujitora respects this commander of the Revolutionary Army, both for her personality and her quick-witted adjustments to the situation at hand. Seeing such a person would be a nice thing. But this battle still can only end in one way: the death of at least one of them. Isho still has too much she wants to achieve to just surrender to a pure soul. Once again he unleashes gravity, but this time he is surpassing his own past self. You are a great person, Molly, a beautiful person in every way, but I have a mission to fulfill. I hope you understand the gravity of this situation. Billion Tiger Push! With the force of 1 billion tigers, Fujitora presses Molly into the ground. It was a wide-range technique like none the Admiral has used before, making it unable to escape even by pushing yourself to the side or upwards. This much energy was something the Commander of the West could never counter under normal circumstances. But in a way, she is not alone. Ivanko's hormones, Little Betty's motivation, Lindbergh's trident, and her own desire to push herself over her own limits. Not even 250 megatons of tigers will be able to suppress her. This is not enough to defeat me, little kitty cat. I may not be exactly like them, but the blood of Elbaf warriors still flows through me no matter what. Using all of her physical might and her devil fruit powers, she pushes against the massive force of gravity, creating a vortex of gravitational force between her and Fujitora. Both are getting pulled towards it, but by anchoring herself on the ground, Molly can withstand the insane sucking powers. However, on the other hand, the same cannot be said for Fujitora. And this is the end of today's episode of Shadow Piece. I hope you enjoyed it. This battle is not yet over. It is a bit different compared to the other showdowns we had, the small battle with Lindbergh, the battles we had even before in other arcs, or now the thing that we had with Karasu. All these different battles between admirals and commanders are going to have their own twists and turns to make them unpredictable and enjoyable for you to watch. So I hope you enjoyed it. But for now, that's all from me for today. All that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!